All right, let's now talk about the ugly reality. There are many MAGAs who will never abandon Donald Trump, even when he crushes them. We just talked in the last segment about MAGA voters losing their jobs, paying more for everything, watching the economy tank. I said, and I always say, you are welcome here. Revise your beliefs. Say the information has changed. I was wrong to support Trump, or I might have been right at the time, but he did something that I didn't expect. Whatever, right? Even as wrong as that might be, you're welcome here. Reviewing and revising your opinions is a great thing. But there are a lot of people who will never, ever, ever abandon Trump. Why? The psychology of it is really interesting. Now, here's the big picture. There's a woman who voted for Trump 3 times, 2016, 2020, 2024, worked at the VA for decades. 2 days after her inauguration, Trump cut her position. And her response was, Trump's been persecuted for us. He's now doing the right thing. What? Another Trump voter was fired after Trump's tariffs were so bad for her employer that her employer had to lay people off. She said, well, I'm sucking it up for the greater good. Trump voters getting directly harmed and doubling down. This is way bigger than politics. We've got to talk about cults. When a cult leader's claims are disproven, members often stay. They deny the evidence. They recruit new followers. Now, you might say, well, are MAGA followers a cult? Not exactly, but there are a lot of similar mechanisms. You've invested everything in Trump. Your identity is tied up in Trump. Your relationships, your reputation, it's all wrapped in MAGA. You've defended him for years. You've potentially even alienated family. And now all of a sudden you go, damn, all the stuff I've given up, his policies are hurting me directly. So you've got 2 choices. You can say, I was wrong, or you explain why this is actually good, why the destruction is good. Admitting wrongness to some cult members is completely unbearable. So people choose option number 2. And one of the reasons that cults perpetuate membership is because people become more devoted in order to reduce the cognitive dissonance. I'm sort of into this leader. He told me he's going to do a bunch of stuff. He didn't do it. He actually hurt me. That's too hurtful to me to acknowledge. So I will double down by renewing my commitment to the cult leader. You reframe it. You're a patriot. You're noble. And for a lot of people, Trump is a savior. He's not just the president. There are cult followers of Trump who say he was saved by God from the bullet to make America great again. That is really powerful. Tariffs are not going to change your mind about that. So cults love to use isolation, repetitive ideology, cognitive restructuring, all the sort of stuff that happens at MAGA rallies, on Truth Social echo chambers, in right-wing media. Trump's followers view suffering as an acceptable sacrifice, and patriots are in an existential battle between good and evil, and Trump's on the right side. Once you believe that, there are no facts I can give you. Personal suffering doesn't matter. Only loyalty matters. Now, some are reconsidering, and this is the good news. 14% of Trump voters would vote differently if they could redo 2024. That would have caused Trump to lose. That alone would have changed the election results. That is a trickle. It's not an exodus, but it's a trickle. Now, what Trump claims to offer is certainty in uncertain times. If prices are up, that's uncertain. Can I afford stuff next month? I don't know. Trump gives you certainty. We're standing up to China. It's not true, but he provides certainty. You lost your job? That's an uncertain situation. Can I find a new one? Did this make sense? Trump gives you the certainty of he is draining the swamp. Does the economy appear to be showing cracks in the labor market? Well, we are fighting back against the deep state. And so the failures become protective of Trump. And when people connect to the leader, they let that connection do their thinking. I also think it's important to mention this is not about intelligence. A lot of objectively smart people are in the cult. It's more about identity. It's more about psychology. It's more about your personal life situation when you get pulled into it. The Heaven's Gate members bought a telescope to see a spaceship following the Hale-Bopp comet. When it didn't appear, they said, oh, it must have been a defective telescope. Then many of them took their own lives. And it's an example of how when reality contradicts your beliefs, people start questioning reality rather than questioning their beliefs. And there's been a lot of this. I was just talking to a friend over the weekend. I believe this was in 2012. Let me look this up. Harold Camping cult. Harold Camping was a cult leader, small cult, who believed, I'm having trouble finding the date, but I believe it was that there was going to be a rapture in 2012. And we interviewed one of his followers, and of course, she sounded very delusional. And I said to her, if you're still here after the date, can you come back on and talk to us? And she said, no, I think I'm going to have more problems because if I'm still here after the rapture day, it means I wasn't one of the chosen ones. I was left behind. And that is a great example of how if the prediction doesn't come true, they don't go, the prediction was wrong. They go to, I must not have been chosen, or it happened, but in a way that wasn't visible or whatever. And that goes to why a lot of MAGA people are never going to abandon Donald Trump. It's your identity. You've burned bridges. You've defended the scandals. You can't walk away because it would be humiliating to you. So given that a lot of the facts don't matter, it's not really stupidity, it's human psychology. What do? You can't fact check faith. We do what we can, which is for those who do start questioning, and it won't be all of them, but it'll be some of them. For those who do start questioning, we give them space to do that. And we're empathetic and we say, you're always welcome to change your mind and come join us. It's the best idea I can think of. Let me know if you have a better one. Thanks for watching. Check out this other video. And if you like our content, make sure to subscribe so YouTube puts our videos in your feed, and subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and Apple.